Welcome to the MLS Review Show. 12 games flooded Week 11, meaning it was time to raise the bar. Youngsters would be forced to step up when countries came calling. Coaches would expect more from their high-priced talent. And even rivalries would be bigger in Texas. All that and more on the MLS Review Show. With a record 32 MLSers headed for the CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament, teams search for players to plug the holes. 15 of the 18 clubs felt the effects of national selection. While most of the usual suspects were summoned, some surprise choices left budding talents on the outside looking in. Jamaica led the way, calling upon 9 league players including Rapids forward Omar Cummings, New York speedster Dane Richards, and LA backstop Donovan Ricketts. It was a busy Wednesday night as 3 highly contested games opened up Week 11. First, MLS Cup champions the Colorado Rapids came to Red Bull Arena hoping to continue their unbeaten run of 5 straight matches. New York was looking for a win at home despite missing Rafa Marquez and Dane Richards, but ended up having to play catch-up on 2 occasions, and a flurry of first-half goals left the teams to split the points in a 2-2 draw. 2 teams that have had to deal with long-term injuries squared off in the second match of the night as a streaking FC Dallas went north to Quest Field to take on the Sounders, who saw the return of Mauro Rosales to the midfield. Aiding the attack-minded Rosales wasn't enough, however, as Breck Shea struck again for Shellis Hindman's crew, pushing Dallas to 6 games unbeaten since the loss of star midfielder David Ferreira. Finally, Houston searched for its first win in May as the Dynamo traveled to the Home Depot Center to take on an LA Galaxy side missing David Beckham. A 45th-minute penalty was all it took as Landon Donovan punched in his 8th goal of the year and pushed the Galaxy 5 points clear of Dallas atop the Western Conference. Let's move to the weekend slate of games. Last week, a Philadelphia Union side that had struggled to produce goals struck twice and saw Carlos Ruiz hit a Goal of the Year candidate. Ruiz was eager to continue his recent form Saturday night before departing to join the Guatemalan national team, but head coach Peter Novak was prepared to shuffle the attack as a healthy Danny Mwanga and Brian Carroll both returned to the team. Host Toronto FC was on the mend, ready to break a string of 3 straight ties that has plagued its rise up the Eastern Conference standings. The Reds were granted an extended rest after the Neutralite Canadian Championship's second leg was abandoned Wednesday night because of poor field conditions. Playmakers Julian de Guzman and Joao Plata would both be available for Aaron Vinter's side before leaving for national team duty. But Jacob Peterson was lost to midweek injuries. Dan Dunleavy had the call from BMO Field.
Toronto FC will have somewhat of a significant wind at their back as we are underway in the opening kickoff. Right in front of the TFC supporters. Here's a lovely cross into the box and a chance and an early goal struck by Gabriel Farfan, the Cal State product. Silences the crowd off the throw-in, the cross, a one-timer right foot, and Gabriel Farfan was just given too much space. Coming off a clean sheet in Colorado, which Toronto FC had some great pressure on, but now they're forced to defend again. Here's another shot and a second goal of the game. There's the touch and Matt. There you go. There's too much space. Plata edge of the box. Has to retreat for the ball. Still a one-on-one matchup. And Philadelphia back to defend. Eckersley's got a lane, takes the shot and fires it just over the bar. Nice run down this right line. He's on his own though, needs some options. Santos from well out! Fans thinking that ball is in the net. It went off the side of the netting. But there you see all the blue jerseys around Maicon Santos. Late in the first half, then a quick free kick. And just given away by Toronto FC. Justin Mapp and company see if they can't make Toronto pay for that giveaway late in the first half as Mapp takes it to the corner of the 18 from Latu. Touch inside, Mwanga steps over Nakazawa, and he does on the turnover, and then it's just one-touch football, and it's that easy to finish. And they are two players that can keep it up through 45. Here's a nice touch. Michael Santos stopped by Mondragon. Big time save by the big man on the back line. Shane Williams. Danny Mwanga, is he onside? Yes, he is, behind the defense to the 18 in the box. Mwanga saved by Stephen Fry. Rebound hammered well over the bar. Brian Carroll. Slow pass gobbled up by Borman. Underneath the defense, is he onside? He is. Michael Santos. He's around Mondragon. Santos. Goal! A lovely run underneath the defense. Santos showing some pace like we haven't seen before. Behind the defense, around the goaltender, and in the back of the net. Plata over on this near side to show Sulzma. Nice turn. Plata's in the box. Takes the shot. Save has made the rebounds out for a corner kick. Sebastian Letou turns it over. Plata turns, lays it inside. Santos. Goal! There's the cross by Borman. And Michael Santos. There's the giveaway. Justin Mack. He'll have to keep this one himself. Takes the shot and he buries it. Wow, Justin Mack with an answer for Philadelphia. Another turnover by Toronto FC. So between these two teams, they're just coughing the ball up all over the field and they're being made to pay for it. 65th minute. And a 4-2 Philadelphia lead. They led 3-0 after the first half. Look out, Stephen Fry misread it. He'll get back though in time and just keep it outside the line. Oh my goodness. Mwanga and Letou has a mission and a purpose on this run to the right. He's in the box. Sebastian Letou stopped by Stephen Fry. Rebound up the side of the goal. Right foot corner. Buried in the back of the net. Danny Mwanga unchallenged in the 72nd minute. And the onslaught continues at BMO Field for the Philadelphia Union, who scored all of 8 goals coming into this game. And that's just too easy. Justin Mapp, does he have another one in him? Nice ball inside. Here's another wide open chance, and it's in the back of the net. Make it 6. But Mapp again. And just waiting on it, Mwanga. Second of the game is that easy. Which is not a bad idea by the referee, although we have now played 90 minutes. So, and there is the final whistle. Toronto FC with an absolute collapse here this afternoon, save for the start of the second half.
Coming up on the MLS Review Show, New York treks to Empire Field as the Whitecaps and Red Bulls square off for the first time.
Hey, it's Charlie Davies with DC United, and you're listening to Extra Time Radio.
The Extra Time Radio podcast comes out every Monday and Thursday on iTunes and Buzzsprout. You can also listen to each episode at MLSsoccer.com/extratime.
We're a soccer podcast.
And I have no friends.
I like to tie my shoes.
Well, we'll get back to some women's evening wear talk.
You guys are too old. It's only for 8-year-old boys.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, this is your tweet of the week.
Janino's not going to win a game for you.
They're a sign of the apocalypse.
That's why he's here!
Fans, we want to hear from you. You're encouraged to email extratime@MLSsoccer.com or tweet at Extra Time Radio with any comments, questions, or reactions.
Welcome back to the MLS Review Show. Columbus returns home where they're unbeaten at Crew Stadium to take on a Chivas USA side that has had success on the road. But first, the Red Bulls travel to an always exciting Empire Field in Vancouver. Just when New York was stepping into dominant form, Hans Backe's side has hit a snag in their run for the Supporters' Shield. Without a win in 3 games and losing several key figures to Gold Cup duty, the Red Bulls also saw Thierry Henry kept home with a knee injury. But Hans Backe changed things up, pairing Luke Rogers with Dwayne De Rosario up top, with Juan Agudelo on the wing. With this switch, the Red Bulls hope to take advantage of a struggling Vancouver backline. The Whitecaps had come into the league with fireworks, but a 4-2 victory over Toronto was the expansion side's only win of the campaign. After going up 1-0 in Wednesday's Nutrilite Canadian Championship Finals, only to have severe weather postpone the match and wipe their goal from the books, the Whitecaps had to focus on league play once more. With the star-studded Red Bulls' depth being tested, perhaps this was the best way for Eric Hasley and the Whitecaps to raise their stock. Steve Cangelosi and Shep Messing had all the excitement from Empire Field.
Red Bulls in the road blue kit and underway with a much different look to the lineup today. Joel Limper and Jan Gunnar Soli get us started as Teemu Tainio plays this out wide for Roy Miller. Shea Salinas with a cross. Hasley taken by New York. De Rosario. Luke Rogers making his run with the flag down. Luke Rogers still going. Cumiento back and a sharp angle try goes wide. Camilo. Cumiento. Beautiful ball sends Camilo on his way. Knocked down. Penalty.
Well, you talked about the playmaking ability, Steve, of Cumiento. Look at that little back heel flick. Beautiful. And Carlos Mendez trying to track back. Clips the heels of Camilo.
Hasley attempting to give Vancouver the lead. Eric Hasley. 1-0 Whitecaps.
You're in a world of trouble, and you get one back, you're right where you want to be.
Red Bulls get this across. Soli brings it down, and a shot deflected in. What a finish. Luke Rogers has done it again, and we are level at 1.
That's an intentional strike by Luke Rogers. Watch his body position. Yeah, that's a good goal. I originally thought it just deflected in.
And now back for Ream. Good ball, Limper. Joel Limper facing goal with a crack that's just high. Dunfield. Good ball into the box. Sutton is there to take charge. He broke up the play. Tainio. Cumiento takes that away. Davide Cumiento played across. Hasley and a save by Sutton. Kofi. Too high.
Cumiento will serve that ball in. Hasley, first time. Greg Sutton made the good kick save.
Not by De Rosario. Sutter steps through 2 defenders, plays it across, looking to bring this down from distance and parried away by Jay Nolly.
And there it is. That's good technique by Castle. Excellent. That ball was dipping on goal.
Mark Geiger, referee, looks at the watch, allows this to play on. Dunfield. Can Hasley create one last chance? Eric Hasley, long-range drive. The goal scorer today for Vancouver, Eric Hasley, on a penalty kick.
Columbus was coming off 2 straight road losses, but a return home could be just the thing to lift the perennial powerhouse. However, if the Crew wanted to get all 3 points, they'd have to find a way to score. With Emilio Renteria injured and a league-low 8 goals, it was time for others on Columbus to step up their scoring ways. To cope with the loss of the Venezuelan forward, Robert Warzija changed formations, inserting Tom Heineman and DP Andres Mendoza up top. Chivas made the cross-country trip after a disappointing loss to their stadium rivals 1 week earlier. But the road had been good to the Goats, losing only once in 5. In order for Justin Braun to repeat his recent hat-trick heroics, Chivas would need to rely on strong hold-up play from Alejandro Moreno and precise set-piece service of Heath Pierce. Could Chivas improve their stellar away record against a Columbus side that hadn't lost at home? Christian Miles and Alan Hopkins were on hand to deliver the action from Crew Stadium.
Only 1 defeat in 5 games on their travels. And Chivas USA looking to rediscover the winning touch on the road. Touching it back now for Sebastian Miranda in space for the USA International. It's a great start. However, the header just wide by the Crew. Ben Zemanski, ubiquitous presence. He's played in a variety of roles this season. Good ball in for Braun, pulls it across. It's there for the taking. It's a wonder start for Chivas USA.
And great ball in behind by Elliott. Look at Braun. That's a classic Justin Braun hustle play. The Crew get a foul here. He was very disappointed.
Quickly taken. Heineman is in. He's gotten behind. Tommy Heineman. The save from Dan Kennedy off the line. Incredibly, Columbus don't score. And our Banamax save of the match, you see it right there. Dan Kennedy just gets enough of it, and the whole ball has to cross the line. It doesn't. Running directly in this Chivas defense, Andres Mendoza! What a goal! The Peruvian finally off the mark.
No one checking the guy on the ball, and that's Ekpo. He just runs right through the middle, plays a good ball to Mendoza.
Walshins made the run forward, trying to get in behind. He's done very well. It's a good ball in. Chivas on the ropes. Heineman saved by Kennedy. Puts in a pretty good ball. Strong header in. Towering stuff. And Chivas USA behind the big Kiwi.
The New Zealand international celebrating his recent call-up with a great goal. That's strong. Second goal in 63 appearances for the central defender.
Moreno, speculative effort. One a save from Hesmert.
A lot of blank stares. That one just out of the reach of Zemansky.
Braun for Chivas USA, playing it into the path of Jorge Flores. He's got some options. It's Flores! Off the post. Good little sequence. And a big wobble to start the second half, and it's a fine flick. Mendoza, the flag is down. Andres Mendoza! Just wide for the crew.
He gets a piece of this end-to-end here. Wants the Chivas side of the drama unfolding off the inside of the quick goal. Tremendous flick. Hint of offside. Great little save by Kennedy. Bad giveaway.
And it's given away here. Here's Andres Mendoza. Perhaps this is the one. It is.
Mendoza missed the gift opportunity a moment ago. This time he says, I'll take it.
Space for Zemansky. Plays it to Flores. It's Flores! Super save nearly from Will Hesper, but it goes in, and Jorge Flores will take credit.
Yeah, it's to Zemansky. Sweet little ball to Flores. Flores beats James. Hesper, not strong enough.
He's done well here to win it, providing the cut and thrust. It's Tommy Heineman for Columbus, and the wallet is Dan Kennedy saves the day for the time being. But it's Ekpo on the turn, and Columbus are right back in it. 3-3.
Great first touch. Bang, quick trigger. Kennedy didn't know anything about it at the near post. It was by him before he even reacted.
Gavin for Rogers, good one too, and he's tripped up by Flores, who has to be careful.
He's on
a booking, his second bookable offense. 2 yellows make a red. Chivas USA are down to 10 men.
For me, Christian, no doubt about the second yellow.
Little grounds for argument. La Broca is in the offing for Chivas.
Got stoppage time in our stoppage time.
And finally, the referee's whistle blows. An intriguing match.
Coming up after the break, the New England Revolution hope to put the brakes on a streaking LA Galaxy. Every week, MLSsoccer.com provides you the opportunity to select the Goal of the Week winner. You can choose between the 5 nominees directly on MLSsoccer.com on the AT&T Goal of the Week page. You can also send in your vote by texting the corresponding goal to code 22442. Winners are announced every Friday, so make sure you vote early and often, keeping in mind polls close at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time on Thursdays. Winners so far include Juan Agudelo of the New York Red Bulls, Javier Martina from Toronto FC, and O'Brien White of the Seattle Sounders.